What if I told you that you have a higher chance of passing away before you hit retirement age? What if I told you that retirement was raising to the age of 70? How does that make you feel? Nearly 60% are expected to pass away before even reaching retirement. Things are getting out of control, and I've got some new data to go over with you, so that way you guys can stay up to date, coming right up. Welcome if you're brand new to Riverside Homestead and our awesome community. My name is Cohen, and we provide you with prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, and news awareness stuff that you should know. If you happen to find value in that type of stuff, be sure to hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. I have people writing in saying it's already here in the US. They just haven't told us yet. And even more so, dug up some data to support that. Now, before we get into the good stuff, let's start off to see what Google has to say. Myth number 5, the government raids Social Security to pay for other programs. The two trust funds that pay out Social Security benefits, one for retirees and their survivors, the other for people with disabilities, have never been part of the federal government's general fund. Do you think that that's true? We'll definitely come back to that one. And then when you go to Social Security fact sheet, go all the way down to the bottom and you see the new Social Security statements. Lots of number 70s in there, and we'll come back to that too. Now you gotta take Wyong News with a grain of salt, although they do put out stuff that big media isn't.
According to a research released on International Workers' Day, elderly of the UK are continuing to work well into their 70s due to the cost of living crisis. The research draws a stark comparison between 74-year-old King Charles and his subjects, where one is privileged to work beyond 70 and others are bound by their circumstances. The report states that there were more people reaching their state pension age and were contributing to the experience pool of a workplace until COVID hit and life expectancy dropped suddenly. Many older workers today are struggling to make ends meet as inflation is on the rise and cost of living crisis worsens. The state pension age in the UK is 66 for both men and women, which is set to rise to 67. May 2026 onwards, further rise reportedly awaits the people of UK after the general elections next year. There were more than 400,000 people above the age of 70 in work last year, which is a steep 61% rise as compared to the 2012 numbers.
60%, a steep rise that are still working after the age of 70. And that's in the UK. Also goes for the same thing in France. So now there's a lot of controversy on this. What age are people dying? If you happen to Google this, it'll come up immediately. The percentage of male and female population dying before the age of 65 decreased considerably over the past several centuries in the world. For instance, in the 1900s in the US, about 75% of people died before they reached the age 65. Now, this has almost inverted to nearly 70% of people dying after the age of 65. And some people are saying that these statistics have been manipulated so that it can justify raising retirement. What do you guys think? Dig in a little bit deeper, and you're gonna find that those numbers don't match up. And like I said, the more you dive into this, they start classifying people. Death by age percentage, then there's death by general mass population, and then when there's certain ailments, some publications might exclude those from the percentages. With that, like I said, lots of controversy on what the real statistic is on making it or not making it before the age of 70. The thing is that you can collect on early retirement, be penalized, or to make sure you get all the incentives, you have to wait to a later age. And trust me, they don't want you thinking that you're not gonna make it to that later age. The concerning matter of it is there's a lot of publications out there that say that Social Security at this rate will be used up by, I think, 2030 or 2033, maybe earlier. And why is this? Well, when it comes to searching that type of stuff, you'll see that Google says it's a myth that the government uses this money to fund other programs. And when you look up on Google and see what people also ask, it says, since 1983, every US president has borrowed from Social Security to pay for government expenditures. But remember, you search that and Google says it's a myth number 5. The government raids Social Security to pay for other programs. the fact the two trust funds that pay out the Social Security benefits, one for retirees and the survivors, the other for people with disabilities, have never been part of federal government's general fund. But then you dig into that, you're going to find some smaller websites that have reported on this. Beagle writes, which presidents borrowed from the Social Security fund? So apparently there's a lot of data out there on presidents using this money for other stuff. It goes on to say, find out which presidents borrowed from the Social Security and how the government borrows from the program. Further down in that article, it says since 1983, every U.S. president has borrowed from Social Security to pay for government expenditures. However, there is no evidence that any president has stolen a dime from Social Security. Usually payroll taxes are paid by workers and deposited in the trust funds, and then surplus funds are invested in special issue securities that are backed by full faith and credit of the US government. Anyone buying into that? A lot of people questioning, with our economy going down, inflation going up, our money just about wrecked. If they have been using Social Security money to pay for stuff, how many of you think that they're really paying that back? What is the real reason why we might run out of Social Security by 2030 or 33? Now, I'll leave a link to all these articles down in the description below, but you can read how Congress borrows from Social Security. You can read about did Congress steal from Social Security and the debates over that. Pretty interesting stuff. But like I said, go back to the Social Security fact page and you're going to read through all of this stuff on requirements and eligibility, how you will be accepted for full retirement. But like I said, what they're doing is creeping the age up. You can look it up yourself right here on an easy Google, simple search, lawmakers gradually increasing the full retirement age. The first to be affected were people who turned 65 in 2003. Americans born in 1960 or later must wait until they're 67 to collect their full benefits. But remember, they're making changes, and some of them people would say are sneaky. Go back to Social Security fact sheet, all the way at the bottom, the new Social Security statement, bullet point number 1, tells a person their full retirement age and what happened to the rest of that statement. Bullet number 2 provides retirement benefit estimates for age 62, full retirement age, and age 70. It's starting to get confusing. Next bullet point, the age 62 benefits estimate incorporates the reduction for early retirement. Last bullet point, the age 70 benefits estimate incorporates delayed retirement credits. Like I said, whoever wrote this, I'm not sure there was proofreading because we're talking about it being really vague, and this number 70 keeps popping up, and that's the concern. Here in the US, with other countries like UK, France, I'm sure there's more, put them in the comments if you know them, all creeping their retirement age up to 70. And the fact of the matter is, what is the reality that people are even gonna make it to 70? You dig in, you factor in heart disease, which is the leading one right now, and all of these other climbing factors of people not making it till retirement age. The reality is people making the statement of 60% of people not even making it to 70 is probably more accurate than we think, and definitely not the same, and definitely not what they're publishing out there for everyone to see so that you believe that you're gonna make it to that late ripe age of 70 plus. Another big huge reason why they might be trying to push that full global number down to around 500 million. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this right here. And the more you dig into the stuff, the more it starts making sense. So with that, you might be thinking, Cohen, well, what's your advice? I'd be considering a plan B. I'm personally not banking on anything that I can't manage myself, which means a lot of y'all might have to start thinking outside of the box. Find that entrepreneurial spirit deep within. Make better choices, pay more attention, so hopefully you'll handle better the circumstances that are coming up. Anyway, guys, I know a lot of y'all think about retirement age, and I thought that you'd find this interesting and a concern pertinent to think about. As I know more good information, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.